right, you're tuned in to Panzer Unleashed. That's right, no filters, no fog, and no apologies. And if you're hearing my voice right now, it means you're still standing. It means you've chosen not to surrender your spine, your family, or your future to chaos dressed up as progress. And tonight's broadcast is for the builders out there, the guardians, the quiet sentinels who stand watch while the world burns itself for fucking clicks and comfort. And this episode, Fortress of Blood, that's right, safeguarding our kin as the world burns. And make no mistake, people, this is not about hiding. This is about standing. This is about becoming unbreakable when everything around you is engineered to collapse. And to all my citizen soldiers of the Iron Voice Society, this is your roll call. That's right. This is your reminder of who you are and why you stand and what it means to protect what matters without losing your soul. And let's go ahead and move, people, because I want you to understand something right out of the gate. And a fortress is not a prison. A fortress is a promise. And a fortress says what lives here will endure, people. And when I say fortress of blood, I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about lineage, loyalty, kinship, and the sacred obligation to defend life, our values, and future generations. And the world is burning. Make no mistake, people, and it's not by accident, but by neglect, corruption, the cowardice systems that were meant to serve us have basically turned into predators. And the institutions that were meant to protect have basically outsourced responsibility, okay? And in the modern day, in the middle of all the smoke, people, they'll tell you to stay calm, to stay quiet, to stay distracted, but you can't. You don't stay distracted when your fucking house is on fire, okay? You build, you reinforce, and you stand watch. And your blood, your people, your kin, your family, your communities are not expendable. And anyone who tells you otherwise is a compromised, confused individual. And more than likely, they are invested in your collapse. And here's the truth they don't want you to hear, people. Stability is now a personal responsibility. You know, resilience has been privatized. And if you don't build your own foundation, you're going to be standing on rubble, people, while everybody else is going to be profiting. And so let this be clear. You know, this episode, it's not about fear or fear freezes, you know, it's about clarity. You know, because clarity sharpens, and clarity tells you that safeguarding your kin starts with becoming someone worth following. And you don't protect people with slogans, okay? You protect them with preparation, with discipline, with consistency, and with presence. And a fortress isn't built overnight, you know. It's built brick by brick, habit by habit, and choice by choice. And the first brick is self-mastery. And if you can't govern yourself correctly, people, then you can't protect anyone else. That means your body matters. Your health matters. So listen, people. I feel like a broken record over here on Panzer Unleashed. And, you know, strength is not cosmetic, as I say. It is functional. And you don't need to look at this stature, okay? You need to be capable when things get hard. You know, when stress hits, when sleep is scarce, and when decisions must be made quickly and calmly. Oh, yeah, your mind matters, you know, and if your emotions or, you know, if you can't control yourself, you're already compromised. You know, emotional regulation is not weakness. It's command and control, people. You know, a steady voice in a storm is going to save lives. And panicking leaders, it's going to multiply casualties with a quickness. And your ethics matter, because without ethics, power becomes predatory. And we are not here to become the monsters we oppose, people. The Iron Voice Society stands for exposure, accountability, and lawful resistance to corruption. Not chaos for chaos's sake, people, but this is how you safeguard your kin, and it's by refusing to rot from the inside. And let me talk to the fathers out there, the mothers, the brothers and sisters, and the guardians out there listening right now. Your children don't need a perfect world. They need a prepared one. And they need to see adults who don't fold when pressure shows up. They need to see those boundaries, the structure, and like they say, the courage molded in real time. And that is going to build them. And a fortress of blood is built on example. You don't need to teach resilience with speeches. You teach it by how you wake up, by how you handle setbacks, and by how you speak the truth, even when it costs you comfort. Like I said, we speak the truth and fear nobody. And yes, my friends, there will be moments when you feel isolated, when it feels like you're the only one not buying the lie. Not bending the knee, no. Not numbing yourself into fucking compliance, That's when you remember you are not alone. And the Iron Voice Society exists because citizen soldiers, people who document corruption, demand accountability, and protect their communities without surrendering to hatred or despair. That's right, people. Citizen soldiers, it doesn't mean recklessness, okay? It means responsible. It means informed. It means grounded in law, ethics, and moral clarity. And you are not here to burn the world down, people. You are here to outlast it and rebuild what survives. And the world burns because shortcuts replaced standards, because comfort replaced the duty, and because lies became fashionable and truth became inconvenient. But fire also reveals what is real, people. Weak structures will collapse, and the strong ones are tempered. So let the heat come. Let it test you, because you are building something that doesn't rely on trending narratives or collapsing systems. No, that's for the weak people. You are building a fortress that lives in your routines, in your relationships, and your readiness. And understand this. Listen up. Safeguarding your kin does not mean isolating them from the world. It means engaging it wisely, knowing when to step forward and when to hold the line. And teaching this instead of the paranoia, you have to. Because information is a weapon when used responsibly. That's why we verify. That's why we document, and that's why we speak with precision. Not rage, even though it does burn, trust me. The rage burns hot and fast. But you know what? Discipline burns long. And you want to be uplifting? Trust me, here it is. Despite everything out there, you are still allowed to be strong. You are still allowed to build, and you are still allowed to protect your family and your values without asking permission from any fucking buddy out there who profits from your weakness, okay? And you are not outdated. You're not extreme, and you're not wrong for wanting stability, safety, and the truth. You're just early, people. And to all the citizen soldiers out there listening, those of you who quietly do the work, who train your minds, your bodies, who keep the records, who stand up in meetings, who refuse to be gaslit, this is me looking you in the eye and saying this. You matter. Your consistency matters and your restraint matters. Because history, it's not saved by loud crowds. Nope. And a fortress of blood is also a place of warmth. Don't forget that. It's laughter at the dinner table. It's stories passed down. It's teaching kids how to think, not what to think. It's making time for joy so the fire outside don't freeze. And you safeguard your kin by loving them fiercely and leading them wisely. And when the world tells you to give up, to quietly comply and sit down, to outsource your consciousness, just remember this, people. Fire can destroy, but it can also forge. And you're not made to be there for the kindling, okay? You are there for the iron, because that's what you are. As always, this is Panzer Unleashed, and tonight's message was simple and uncompromising. Build your fortress, guard your blood, and stand tall while this world tests itself in the flames. And to all the citizen soldiers of the Iron Voice Society, keep your eyes open, your records clean, and your actions lawful, and your spine straight. You are the long memory in an age of amnesia. So protect your kin, fortify your values, and outlast the chaos. Once again, I'm Scott Panzer Paulson, live here from Hack Studios, signing off. Stand ready, stay human, and never forget who you're fighting for.